right, welcome back to another episode of the Cody Tucker Show. As always, I'm your host, Cody Tucker. And so first off, thanks to everyone who has purchased their copy of my book. Could not tell you how much I appreciate it. Actually, I guess I could, because that is what I just said. So, I can tell you, and I did. Thank you. So, it's doing pretty well. A hell of a lot better than I would have thought. I am very much surprised that anyone other than, like close friends and family actually bought this fucking thing. I did work my ass off on it, so it feels nice, but I tend to never think that things that I do are going to turn out that good. So, yeah, which I guess is probably a good mindset to have. I kind of push it a little bit to the limit as far as that goes, but I think it's better than the alternative. The alternative of, I'm going to sell fucking, or whatever I do, it's going to be the greatest thing ever, and everybody's going to love it. And then you do it, and no one gives a fuck. That's a pretty gutting experience, from what I've heard. I have never had that problem. It's always been more of a, holy shit, I really am just pissing in the wind. And who's going to actually give a shit? And then, a couple people do. Which is, it's always, a pleasant surprise. Which I think is the best way to be. I think it's good to set yourself up for a nice, a pleasant shock to the system. And you would think that, with, doing decently well, that I would just become some egomaniacal asshole. There's something deep in my brain that will not allow that to happen. Unfortunately, trust me, I would love to just walk around like I'm fucking Julius Caesar. I have not gotten to that point. But also, I'm not out here really doing anything at any high level. So, there's that. Just a little walkthrough of my neuroses. It's hot as shit. I'll just, might as well, have a little peek behind the curtain. It's so fucking hot right now. It's hot as shit outside. It's pretty fucking hot inside. Normally I have a fan just blaring on me, and I can't do that because some goddamn audio engineers that are listening to this will fucking message me, hey man, I would love to be able to listen to what you're doing, but the way your mic is picking up these background, oh my, fuck off. The mic is picking up what it picks up. Should I put out a little bit of money and buy a better mic? Probably. Am I going to? No. I bought this microphone. A peek behind the back curtain. I paid about $45 for this mic and have had it for about 6 years. Now, I'd say that's pretty good. That's paying, what is that? $6.15 or so a year. I think that's pretty good. I'm not gonna go out and buy some fucking $400 mic so that I can, pretend like I'm a professional. No. Honestly, you should be glad that I'm not just recording this into a fucking Dixie cup with a string attached to it. Because that is plan B. So, yeah. No, I have no idea how I just got there. Holy fuck, where did that come from? Why was I talking about a microphone? Oh, yeah, it's hot as fuck. Yeah, it's hot as shit. So if I start sweating, if my glasses fog up, just close your eyes and pay no mind. Not saying that it will, because actually, I don't know if I'm just getting better at controlling my fucking body heat. Almost like a David Blaine situation. But I really wish I would have learned how to do that before my goddamn Rogan appearance. Yeah, because these fuckers were fogging up on me. And it seems to me as though I am not the only one who noticed. But what can you do? You know, you would think that they would have made glasses that don't do that by now. With the advancement, there really hasn't been a whole lot of advancements in the eyeglass world compared to every fucking thing else. I mean, you have goddamn cars that drive themselves. I mean, you can make goddamn fucking meta glasses that can, that you can use to like record videos of women at the gym or other things. But you can't seem to make glasses that just don't fucking fog up when a sweaty, large individual wears them in a hot room. But, Elon Musk is too busy fucking just downing ketamine. Maybe if he gets off the Special K, he'll work on that next. But anyways, that's enough of all that bullshit. Time to move on to the topics for today. So Netflix fucking finally announced the release dates for season 5 of Stranger Things. Now, full discretion, I was very late to the Stranger Things fandom. Didn't start watching it until probably about five months ago. I tried to watch it multiple times and just couldn't get into it. Thought the kids looked too weird. Thought everybody kind of looked weird. And I still stand by that. Like, everybody in that show kind of looks weird. Like, almost... Okay, so there's a trick you can do, which I highly recommend everyone do it. Go into the bathroom, or anywhere where I guess you have a mirror, turn the lights out, and just stare at your reflection in the mirror, and keep staring at it for a while. The longer you start to stare at your reflection in the mirror, the more your face starts to change. And it gets real fucking weird and real strange. And then, if you really want to take a step further, keep staring, and you'll start seeing shit behind you and all kinds of like crazy fucking like monster things. I know that, sounds like, hey, you big bastard, maybe you're just having an acid flashback. As far as I know, I've never done acid, so there's that. Granted, I have been through my fair share of whippets. I don't know if there's any residual effects to that. I imagine there probably are, but I don't think this is whippet related. I think this is just a phenomenon that happens to human beings. That's how I feel like everybody in Stranger Things looks. They look like you took a normal looking person and you're looking at them through that lens. Yeah. So, there's that. But moving on to something else besides making fun of fucking children. So the release dates for season 5 being broken up in 3 parts. Volume 1, November 26th, right around Thanksgiving. Volume 2, Christmas. The finale, New Year's Eve. I love that they're doing it this way. Normally I wouldn't. Normally I'd be like, just fucking like, we waited this goddamn long, which it's funny. I say that we've waited. I didn't even really give a fuck until about a couple months ago. So this is really, I haven't waited for shit. But I do understand the people who are massive fans of Stranger Things, would be like, hurry the fuck up. Like, if it's done, then just fucking release the thing. So I get that. I love breaking it up like this. And apparently how they're doing it, it's like each episode is going to be basically like a 2-hour movie, which is awesome. So if it's 3 parts, I imagine it'll be like, I mean, isn't every season like 8 episodes, I think? No, I don't think, I mean, I'm not the smartest human being, obviously. I don't know how you divide that up. It doesn't matter. I like doing it this way. Now, to prepare for it, which also, these fuckers are going to look real old. I kind of just started thinking about that, too. Like, they already started looking, like, it's going to be a real Beverly Hills 90210 situation when this comes out. Because, you know, I mean, if you're unfamiliar, all them sons of bitches were in their damn mid-30s playing high school kids. That's kind of what's going on with this shit. So, but, you know, who knows? I mean, obviously none of these fuckers are Jason Priestley. Or Luke Perry, or even Ian Ziering. So, yeah, so as soon as found out about the news, immediately started rewatching. It's like, holy fuck, I'm pumped. This is going to be awesome. I have been a fan for months. This is my moment of glory. So started rewatching from the beginning. God damn, it's so good. Like, what was wrong with me? The first couple times I tried to watch this to where I couldn't get into it. I don't understand. It has everything I like. Mostly 80s nostalgia. Anything remotely 80s related, I'm fucking into. Why would I not have been in this? Now, I did just about 30 minutes ago watch, so I'm in like season 2 towards the beginning, when you find out that Elle is alive and she's living with Hopper. So that's where I'm at right now on the rewatch. Now, they show both of them eating a TV dinner, and it did make me think, like, there's no way that people back in the 80s were eating those for a full meal. The size of that fucking tray, I mean, that thing was, like, smaller than a goddamn Lunchable. And it was basically just turkey and gravy with peas. It's like there is not a chance in hell that a man Hopper size is eating 2 slices of goddamn turkey lunch meat with gravy on it and like a handful of fucking English peas, and that's dinner. No way. Like, is that what people were fucking eating in the 80s? If anyone is listening to this, yeah, if anyone's listening to this, I mean, we're about 13 minutes in. There's no one listening to this. So it doesn't fucking matter. If by chance there's someone listening to this and you were either alive in the 80s or your parents, whoever, ask them, were people eating that? Was that how big they were? And were people actually eating that as a full meal? Because I'll tell you what. Now, granted, I'm not the person, I might not be the right person to go off of for as, like, you know, I'm an outlier. And I understand. But I tell you what, like, as a teenager, you know, as a kid, not even a teenager, as a kid, I'd come home from school and knock out 2 of those fucking things. Easily. And they were a hell of a lot bigger than that. I'd come home and do a little tour of the world. A little gastro tour. I'd fucking fire up the microwave, put in an orange chicken one that I'm pretty sure was made out of roasted squid dicks. You know, put that shit in me. Then I'd hop on over to Italy and eat a rubbery ass chicken parmesan that I'm pretty sure is the same shit that killed James Gandolfini. So I'd knock out both of them right after school. Yeah, I'd knock both of those out. Fucking, you know, get things blended up in there. And then I'd go basically crack my toilet in half. Get the water hose and clean off. And then it'd be time for dinner. Cody, how'd you get so overweight? Well, there's your answer. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, it's not big bones, I can assure you, or any thyroid. And I have no glandular issues, as far as I know. It's just, God, I fucking eat a lot. I eat a lot and I don't move around much. Which turns out is the recipe that, makes you blow up. So, here we are. And I've always been this way, Like, yeah, this isn't a recent development. I've always been a big old son of a bitch. Like when I was a big fucking baby. Yeah, like really big. I don't know, like the pounds and ounces or whatever, but I'm pretty sure I was in the double digits. Like they had to call the goddamn the local fucking 4-H club to come help birth me. They're gonna put a fucking tag on my ear and have the FFA fucking auction me off at the fair. Yep. Yeah, I was adult size probably at like 9 years old. Yeah. Like doomed from the start. Now, granted, I could just eat less and exercise, but no part of that sounds fun. Like, sorry, David Goggins, but just running, just running. I'm not fucking doing that. If I find an exercise that's fun, I'll fucking do it. But I've tried lots of things. I ain't found one yet that really, made me feel as good as sitting down does. Yeah, sitting down and eating fucking Lay's potato chips with M&Ms and watching TV is leaps and bounds more fun than going to a gym and trying your hardest not to fart while you're on an elliptical machine. And that's a mission that I have failed a lot of times. Because believe it or not, I did actually used to spend a pretty hefty amount of time in the gym. And I actually did lose a lot of weight at one point. Gained it all back extraordinarily fast. And not just gained it back, but added to it. Like I went full Christian Bale at like the age of 18. Like it was like I was preparing for a movie. 2 different movies. It was like I was gonna play it was like I was gonna play like Abe Lincoln and William Howard Taft. Yeah, not good. It was a real Kirstie Alley situation, a Cody Alley, if you will. But oh well. And I don't know, I'll probably get back into it at some point. I mean, probably not, but the chances are low, but they're not zero. I think that's a good way to be. Leave the door open, but just a little. Yeah. The door is ajar. No, it's a door. My God. That felt real fucking cringy saying that out loud. It's one of those things you think and you don't say. Yep. I did. Alright. We should move on from this. Stranger Things coming out. It's going to be awesome. Fucking love it. The show's amazing. I got to start yeah, branching out and watching things. Actually, another thing that, well, moving on, we'll just say. I was going to actually try to make like a clever segue. I couldn't think of anything on the spot. So, yeah. So I might as well just do an abrupt cut. All right, so this is another thing that I don't know if I've really actually gone into my love for this show. Like, I don't think I've ever actually talked about it just in like a solo bitch situation. But obviously I've had people on the podcast who have been on this show. I am, and have been since season 1, back in, what was it, like 2000, 2001? Been a massive fucking diehard, obsessed fan of the CBS program Survivor. I've watched every episode of every single season, most seasons twice, and a couple seasons 3 times. But you would think, why the fuck would you rewatch a show where you already know who wins? I also watch football games from the fucking early 2000s. It makes me feel like a kid again, and those were my glory days. So, you know, watching Michael Vick play football makes me feel good. I don't think there's a lot of people that can say that, but works for me. So, anyways, so Survivor. Now, I will be fair. Survivor has gone, god damn. Okay, the problem with having long hair, this shit gets in my mouth so fucking much. There's probably a hairball in my stomach the size of a fucking volleyball by now. Like, the amount of hair that I just, oh, God. Sometimes I just want to shave this fucking thing off so bad. Like, go back to being full bald. You know, or a buzz cut. Like an old Private Pile from Full Metal Jacket. It's so hard not to do that. But then if I do, people think like, oh my God, you're having a mental breakdown, because that is one of the first signs. Just so you know, if you see somebody who drastically changes their hairstyle out of nowhere, it doesn't always mean that, but it oftentimes does mean they are going through some shit. And I don't want people reaching out to me thinking that that's going on. It's very nice of you to reach out. And to be honest, I think I've given lots of signs in the past where I may be going through some shit. But yeah, I'm, you know, as of right now, I'm doing pretty good. And so shaving my head might be misleading. But also, it's my fucking head. I can do what I want. No one tells me what to do. God damn it. Alright, so anyways. Survivor just announced the cast for season 50. Now, if you're not a Survivor fan, I'll be honest, you probably skipped this. You can watch if you want. You're probably not going to know what the fuck I'm talking about, which is fine. I think that's kind of almost become sort of part of the show. Is me just mindlessly rambling and trying to find an exit at some point. So, do what you want. You're the boss of yourself. So Survivor Season 50, cast got announced. Now, this show has gone downhill horribly. I would say, with a few exceptions, in the last probably 10 the last 10 seasons, like I said, with like one or two exceptions, have been fucking horrible. Cast members that are not remotely interesting. It's like people have figured out the game too much. Like it's almost, you know, and I don't want this show to end, because it would be like a part of me. God, what a fucking idiot. It would feel like a part of me is dying. But it kind of would. I mean, I've been watching this show since I was fucking 7 years old. Like, I'm 30. No, how old am I? 32? 31. I will be 32. Possibly. And, you know, So if the show goes away, goddamn, what am I supposed to do? Guess just go back and rewatch all the shit again. But, so I don't want it to end. But fuck me, it just seems like it almost needs to. Like, it seems like there's just so much to go back and see. Like they've learned how to play the game so well that they won't do anything. Because, all right, so this is where it's probably going to start getting into the weeds a little bit. Whatever. The strategy, which is my favorite part of the fucking shit, is the strategy. Is seeing, like, the blind side, stabbing in the back, making you believe I'm going to do something, and I ain't doing it. A to B, we're good. A to C, we're good. A to D is who I'm actually going with. That's what I like. Now it seems like they know that whenever you do those kinds of moves, it makes you such a goddamn target because you have a fucking resume built. Like, you have this resume built to say, like, look at all the shit I did. I fucking survived the fuck out of this show. I did not die on this island. Like, that's, that's what it is. But with that, nobody wants to do anything because you become that threat, and then your target, you get voted out. As soon as somebody tries to make a fucking move, it's like, uh-oh, that person's dangerous, get him out. So what you're left with is a bunch of boring-ass people doing goddamn nothing. And they made the fucking episodes an hour and a half for the worst seasons. Like, that doesn't make sense. Those, the show back in the day, I mean, really the first fucking 35 seasons, those should have been an hour and a half. This, they could cut that down to about 25 minutes, and we'd be fine. And like, it's like the casting has gotten, which is kind of the highlight of what I'm going to be talking about with old Survivor Season 50. The casting is just not good anymore. I don't know what the fuck Jeff Probst is doing. I mean, I love Jeff Probst. If I could, like, if I started drinking again and I could hang out with anybody and just have a nice, have a cold one with someone, it probably would be Jeff Probst. Stone Cold Steve Austin, obviously, is number one, but Jeff Probst is up there. And, it just seems like they're just, like, they're not casting people who are going to be fun and, like, what they used to do is, it seemed like, they would cast people who are like, holy shit, this person is, like, this person has no conscience. This is going to be perfect. This is what we need. We need somebody who's going to be able to lie straight to a person's face. Like, I should probably mute the fuck out of it. What am I doing? Sorry for that. So fucking unprofessional. Bitch. So, we, like, that's what they need to look for, is people who are basically sociopaths. A Russell Hantz, for example. And then combine that person with, like, in that same season, have people who are fucking lunatics. Have people who are very emotional. Let the two blend and clash and, all this shit. Let that happen. And that's a recipe for fucking success. For any show. You take, Real Housewives. You got to have some people who are absolute sociopaths. A Jen Shaw, for example. And then put in some just goddamn crazy people. A Monica, for example. Got to have that shit, in there. And Survivor doesn't do that anymore. It's like, or maybe people just aren't fucking signing up. That could be a problem too. Because fucking, I don't remember him, like, in the beginning or, like, middle of an episode basically doing an ad read for Survivor. It used to be like then, like, if you or someone would love to be on Survivor, here's the email or whatever. Now it's like him fucking on his knees begging, please, for the love of God, sign up for this fucking show. So I don't know I don't know. But anyways, so they announced the cast for season 50, which, okay, so, fuck, I did something to my goddamn back. I mean, it could just be that it's working real hard, like on a 24/7 basis. Anyways, so they announced that season 50 was going to be like in the hands of the fans, which is usually code for we have ran out of ideas. We don't know what the fuck to do. Let's just let everybody else. Let's let everybody else become a writer and a casting director and all this shit. And then we don't have to pay them. So that's what they did. And there is not a chance in hell that this is the fucking cast that the fans agree, that the fans voted for. No way. So I'm going to run through just a few of them. So first cast, Jenna Lewis Doherty. I barely remember who the fuck this is. I mean, she was on the very first season, so I kind of get that. Okay. Then there's, I'm not going to read all these. That would take fucking forever because there's 24 people. So then, Colby Donaldson, which, I think most people probably think I would be a fan of because, both from Texas, named similar. I guess that matters. I don't know. I fucking hated Colby. I thought he sucked. I thought he just was no good at fucking Survivor. This is son of a bitch. Goes to the finale. Season 2? Australia? It takes the most likable fucking person with him. And of course loses. Dipshit. And then, so then there's like a couple of people from like the early days. Ozzy, Sari, which I'm a fan of both of theirs. And then there's like, up to like season 11 maybe, 10 or 11, there's, a couple people. There is no one from like seasons 11 through damn near like 35. Like there's 20 at least, maybe even more seasons where there's not a single person is going to be on this, which is fucking insane. So no Malcolm, no Joe. I mean, not even, and go back, like no Parvati, no, we can't get Jerry Manthe. What's she doing? Tons of people that could have been on this. Bring back fucking Johnny Fairplay, which actually I think his grandmother did die, so hard to use that as an excuse now, or as a, lie, but fucking somebody else could fake die. Just all kinds of shit. So then you skip all those seasons, and then you end up having, because now there's 24 people, so there's more people than normal. And now, and then you have like fucking 15 people from the last like 8 seasons. Like, there's no way that people were like, God, we have got to get Angelina back on Survivor. No way. I mean, she is a huge fucking wet blanket. Who, no. Like, there's a couple people from recent seasons that are going to be on here that I, think, all right. I like Q. I thought Q was pretty interesting. Had, like, I think Q was a hell of a lot smarter than people ever give him credit for. Who else? I mean, and then from last season, I like Kyle and Camilla, both of them. I like D, who won a couple years ago, which also... Maybe you shouldn't have winners back on. You did Winners Award for at season 40, where it was all winners. But I don't know. I mean, whenever they had Survivor All-Stars, I think they had a winner. Yeah, they had winners on that. I mean, whatever. But yeah, there's like 3 people from last season. There's going to be 2 people on from the season that hasn't even happened yet. And then the people who have been in, like, let's say the last 5 seasons, the people who are like the most likable, nowhere to be found. Not on the fucking show at all. No Jesse. No Gabler. Shout out Gabler. No Ben. My buddy Ben. He's not, which I guess I could probably just ask him whether or not he was asked. But still, like, there's a lot. No Chris. Carolyn. Carolyn's very likable. I mean, you got Charlie and Q from Ben's season, and Tiffany, who was also on that season. I don't know, man. It's just so fucking weird. I don't get this at all. I don't get why I don't know. It's like one of these things. I think this is the death rattle. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. I just can't imagine this show keeps going on much longer. Which is probably what people thought after season 20. Like 20 seasons of Survivor. There's no way it's going to go above 20 seasons. And they probably thought that at 30 and at 40. And yeah. So who knows? Might keep going on forever. I just think they could have done a season 50. Like 50 is a monumental number. You know? Half of 100. If I'm not mistaken. You could have done so much better with this cast. Like, nobody from fucking Survivor China. It was a great season. One of the best seasons, I think, ever. James, Amanda Kimmel, Todd. I don't get this. You know? Bring back Jean Robert. Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get any of this. But it's not for me to I don't get to make the choice. Actually, I kind of did. I kind of do. I'm a fucking fan. Now did I well, to be fair, did I vote? No. Because like any election, your vote doesn't matter. Your individual vote does not matter. You're just one of X amount. The more people that vote, the less yours fucking counts. So, I wasn't about to waste my time. And I have a feeling they just looked at everybody's shit and said, nope. I think this was a big fucking gimmick. They already knew what they were going to do. Mark Burnett, you got us again, you son of a bitch. Isn't that his name, Mark Burnett? Yeah. Anyways, fuck it. Alright, moving on. Before I have a goddamn aneurysm. Okay, so I've been watching quite a few like new release movies, which I haven't really been doing a lot of. Mostly what I've been watching is, Beverly Hills 90210 reruns and, I don't know, fucking random true crime documentaries on Netflix. And there's, of course, Stranger Things. But I have been trying to, like, actively, go, like, watch fucking movies that are out in theaters. And because otherwise, like, a lot of these movies, once they leave theaters, I kind of forget that they ever even happened. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I was going to watch that movie. And then I never do. And I don't want to do that anymore. I think it'd be good it's good to, follow along with what's going on. So I did that. And now I'm kind of fucking regretting that I ever did it. Because 2 movies I watched in the past couple days that both of them have gotten, well, one's gotten amazing reviews and one's gotten pretty decent reviews. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, I might be doing all right. And these are 2 movies that I kind of really, that I wanted to see anyways. I should be happy. So first movie that I watched is Final Destination Bloodline. And I don't know why. I should have known. I should have trusted my gut instinct and said, this movie is going to suck ass just like every other fucking Final Destination except for the first 2. Really the first one, but the second one's not that bad. That's what I should have known. But then started like reading these reviews and people were like talking about how great it was. They were like, holy shit, this movie's like surprisingly good. So I was like, God damn, okay, maybe I should watch it. No. There was no surprise. This movie, it sucked. So, fair warning, I'm about to spoil the hell out of this movie. So if you care, which I don't understand how you would, but if you care, you might want to just stop watching now. It's fine. You've been here long enough. The fact that if you're here right now, that means you've been watching for like 40 plus minutes, and I don't understand how you did that. But thank you. Most likely you probably just forgot that you had it on and are now, washing dishes or something. Which, good on you. It's good to take care of the homestead, but yeah, so Final Destination Bloodline, starts with, what do you know? A person witnessing all this like horrific shit happen, and you think that it really is happening, just for that person to have a close zoom in of their eyeball and then like a zoom back out and realize like, oh my God, they're not dead. This hasn't happened yet. And then that person starts seeing the things start to happen. It's like, oh my God, we got to get out of here. Nobody wants to listen. And then the shit starts happening. So pretty much how every fucking Final Destination starts. This one is not good. Like it's these people in this fucking high rise, which with a glass, okay, first off, with a glass floor that is somehow able to hold all of these people. I mean, they are hundreds of feet in the air in like what kind of looks like was it the Space Needle in Seattle? I think that's what it's called. No, I don't know. I'm not a big architecture person, but I'm pretty sure it's Space Needle. It kind of looks like that, but like the restaurant ballroom kind of thing has like a full glass floor, which I guess is supposed to be part of like the I don't know what the fuck there's a glass floor. But there is. There's a glass floor, and apparently it's strong enough to hold at least 100 people. If the average person weighs, how much does the average person weigh? Probably about 170 pounds. I mean, you count women and men together. Probably something like that. So you're looking at, what's that, 10,000 pounds? Almost 11,000 pounds. And then plus tables, shit, a full band. Like all this shit. Floors holds all that perfectly fine. But there's one fucking pointy crystal chandelier piece dangling. And when it falls, that point cracks the whole floor. Okay. I mean, what a stupid... I mean, one, the velocity of the thing is falling off the fucking ceiling. I mean, you'd be able to catch that fucking thing in your hand and it wouldn't do a damn thing. But apparently it can crack through glass that I imagine is probably 1.5 feet thick if it's holding up all these people. I mean, I don't know how codes work. I mean, it could be a union job, which you never know. But that doesn't make any sense. So then that happens. The whole fucking thing falls to pieces. People are falling out. And it turns into like the Towering Inferno, that movie, where it's like, what would happen if the Titanic was a building? That's kind of this thing. Yeah, and then it goes through the same bullshit every Final Destination goes through. We're gonna have a bunch of close calls where somebody turns on a gas stove and it goes with the flame, but oh no, they're safe. There we go, thank God. And then a dad gets his head fucking eviscerated by a lawnmower. And then there is kind of like there's some like twists and shit of like who's next, because it's the bloodline, so it's like people going in order of birth. From this woman who is the woman who survived the bullshit tower thing. That she had 2 kids and then their family. So it's like going in order, basically doing like a 23andMe for death. And yeah, like a family death tree. And so that's all going on. And there's some twists of like, well, actually, you were adopted, so you're not part of the... One of the characters finds out he's adopted, so he's not part of the bloodline. But then he dies anyways. So it's like, okay, well, what the fuck was the point of ever saying he was adopted if he's just going to die anyways, just not in that same order? And then you think that like they solved the shit, because it's like, well, how many of these movies could they possibly make? Well, they're not going to make any more, surely. I mean, they might. Don't call me Shirley. But they, you have the scene at the end with 2 survivors. I won't spoil that for you. There's 2 people who survive, and you're like, oh, thank God, and you're hoping that it's these 2 people. And then they realize, we haven't cheated death. And a train fucking crashes through the city, through their suburb, and it stops right before it hits them. But then a log truck ramps the train, and the 2 logs crush them, just splatter them and kill both of them, and then the movie's over. That's Final Destination Bloodline. So, you're welcome if you haven't seen it. I just saved you probably about $15 at least, depending on, if you're getting a concession and whatnot. I just saved you. Don't go fucking watch it. Now, the next movie, my opinion of this movie might be a little bit of a hot take. So the next movie I watched, which I had massive high hopes for, and it wasn't necessarily horrible, but anyways, hear me out, is Sinners. So, Sinners had so much potential to be an amazing movie. But it has, like, the acting is very good. Michael B. Jordan, I will say, incredible. He is so good at both times. In both roles. I think Michael B. Jordan is very fucking good in this movie. And the movie has, like it starts off so goddamn good with, like, this, because as far as I know, and I've seen a lot of movies, but as far as I know, I can't really think of a movie that has, like, the 1930s Mississippi Delta blues scene as the setting of the movie. I think there's Crossroads with Ralph Macchio. That's about the only one I can think of. Yeah. That's about the only one I can think of. Which is a great movie. And Steve Vai plays, I think, like the devil or something. Whatever. Regardless, Ralph Macchio has a guitar duel with Steve Vai, which is cinema gold. Now, so this movie, it takes place at that time. Which, I mean, I'm such a huge fan of, like, of old school blues music like that, like Robert Johnson, like Lightning Hopkins, like there's Leadbelly, which I think Leadbelly's like in Louisiana and Texas a little bit, like kind of around this area. Like there's just so many of them. And then there's like a little bit later, like Howlin' Wolf, like there's like Sonny Boy Williamson, Blind Willie Johnson, I think. I could just be making up names right now that sound like old blues names, and nobody would fucking know. I mean, there was Red Hands Robinson, fucking Mud Shoes Jones. I don't know. But regardless, that whole, like, era is so fascinating to me. Like, these guys just making this amazing music with, like, nothing. I mean, with shitty guitars. If it got recorded, the recordings are god-awful because it was fucking, 90 years ago? But it's still crazy. It's like whenever you listen to the Beatles, it doesn't feel like you're listening to, like, history. Even though it is old. I mean, it's fucking, the Beatles were 60 years old. That's a long time ago. But it doesn't necessarily feel like you're listening to something that's, like, historical. But when you listen to blues from the 30s, it feels like you went into, like, a time machine. And this movie captures that, like, very well. But goddamn, they just find a way to fuck up this movie and make it like, it doesn't suck. It's not horrible. But it goes off the rails a little bit, where you're just like, God damn it, stop doing this. And then, and obviously people were like, or well, some people are upset about the the racial undertones of the movie, and like, how the races are like represented and blah blah blah. Okay. I mean, I think it was actually pretty fair with how things are shown, but also it didn't make me feel like, God damn, should I not be able to be a fan of this? Like, that sucks. I am a fan of it. I love history. I love music, so I should love the history of music, and that's a huge fucking part of it. That's where like so many amazing artists come from, is that world, which is kind of part of the fucking message of the story too, is that like some people shouldn't be able to come from that, and then some people should. It's like, okay, but there's so many parts where you're just like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, why did that person say that line? Like that's what you chose to write and to use in the movie, is like that. And like, you have this weird random comedic relief happening sometimes where you're just like, there's no comedy in this movie whatsoever for a while. Like, the whole buildup of Michael B. Jordan being this like, this con men coming back home from Chicago after they've been, involved with some heavy shit, it seems, and coming back home and being like, hey, time to lay low, open up a juke joint. And yeah, like, that whole fucking thing is awesome. There's no comedy in that whatsoever. But then suddenly, whenever everybody's getting fucking attacked by goddamn vampires, people just start being fucking hilarious. And it, and like, as I'm watching, I'm like, God, this reminds me a lot of a certain movie. And as it turns out, I wasn't the only one who thought that. It's a pretty big ripoff of From Dusk Till Dawn, which is funny how part of the message of the movie is kind of how some artists were ripped off by other artists and not really necessarily given their like proper due, like getting ripped off and then made like just getting ripped off and then being used to make money off of like that. Basically, the shit that Elvis was always accused of, a lot of that, How is this different? If you watched From Dusk Till Dawn a bunch of times and said, hey, I'm just going to fucking rip that movie off and make a movie. And change it around a little bit, make a little bit of a different message, and there we go. And it's like, well, doesn't that seem a little hypocritical? To take a movie but then say that, oh, well, it's not a ripoff. I was just influenced by it, which is what the director, Ryan Coogler, has said in interviews. So they was like very much influenced by From Dusk Till Dawn. It's like, well, at what point is it okay to be influenced? Like, at what point does influence become a ripoff? Because, like, why, like, there's a lot of artists, like musicians, who could say, yeah, I was influenced a fuckload by, and list a bunch of artists, older artists. And then there are some who can be, and you can look and you're like, oh, they completely ripped that person off. And yeah, fuck those people, like, fuck ripping off people. But there's nothing wrong being influenced. That's how you make music better, is by taking, like, if you grew up listening to Delta blues, classical music, and country western, say, take three, or jazz, like, say, or country western, it doesn't matter, take like three genres of music that you listened to a lot as a kid, and said, well, I don't want to just be a blues musician, I don't want to just be a country western musician or a classical musician, I want to have a little bit of all of that in my music, because that's going to represent who I am. That's how you make music better. So, that's being influenced. So what's wrong with that? This movie doesn't feel necessarily as much like an influence by as much as of I ripped this fucking movie off from Dusk Till Dawn. Like, it's the pacing of it. So, I mean, one, you have two con men brothers who are traveling, two con men brothers who end up in a, basically, for all intents and purposes, like a music bar, like a dive bar, music hall kind of thing. That's the same for both movies. Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, Clooney and Tarantino in From Dusk Till Dawn. They end up in, Michael B. Jordan ends up, like, establishing their juke joint. Clooney and Tarantino end up in, was it the Titty Twister? I think is what it's called. And you have this whole, like, con men story thing where they're anti-heroes and one is a little nicer than the other. One's more deviant. So, like, you have the red hat, Michael B. Jordan is the deviant one, obviously, and the blue hat one's going to be nicer. And then From Dusk Till Dawn, George Clooney's kind of the, like, I have a code. Tarantino's fucking a legit, like, fucking Ted Bundy. Yeah, and then they end up fighting fucking vampires. And, one of the brothers gets turned into a vampire early while, basically, like, in a sexual tryst with a woman. Yeah, like Michael B. Jordan, like, red hat Michael B. Jordan gets turned by Haley Seinfeld, and then fucking Tarantino by Selma Hayek. I don't get how it's like, oh, I was just influenced by From Dusk Till Dawn. It's like, no, you're ripping fucking From Dusk Till Dawn off. I mean, you're making you're taking it and putting like a message behind it. That still doesn't make it not a ripoff. I don't know. That's just my opinions on it, but I don't know. I mean, overall, the movie it's pretty decent. Like, it's not a bad movie. Like, Final Destination Bloodlines, absolute dog shit. Just a hot, steaming pile of poop. This movie, Sinners, is still a movie, watch. Because, like, it is cool to see that world. Like I said, the whole Delta Blues world. And they do kind of cool shit with, like, the vampire stuff. Like, it's, still has some really cool shit going on throughout the whole movie. But it's just hard for me to, like, get past shit like that. Like something being like so clearly a ripoff. And of course, it was made by fucking Ryan Coogler, who I already think is a fucking horrible director. I think Fruitvale Station was amazing. Like, one of those movies that after you watch it, you're just like, fuck. Like, there's nothing else to say. Like, you just watch Fruitvale Station and you just sit there, you're like, God damn it. Which is a great reaction to have for, like, that kind of movie, is to just be like, yeah, just feel bleak and, like, angry, like, sad, like, all that shit. Like, mission fucking accomplished with Fruitvale Station. But I think Black Panther is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And then I think the Creed movies are decent. They're alright. Like, they're not bad, they're not great. Just alright. That's kind of how this one is. It's not great. I think, like, as I was watching, I was like, oh, wow, this is kind of cool. But the more I've thought about this movie, the more I don't like it. So, a week from now, I might hate it even more, but whatever. So, I think that'll do it. I've fucking rambled on more than enough. But yeah, so thank you for watching. And yeah, see you next week. Goodbye.